That's what I like. I like feeling like I have no idea what's going to happen in these matches. Once a patch has been around for a while and it's like, all right, both players are going to open up this way, and this is what the mid game will look like, and it eventually gets kind of sad. But to this point, we have a new balance patch, we have new maps, everything is so brand sparkly new. This is one of the more intense balance patches we've seen in a long time. A lot of changes, which I really love to see.
Yeah, it should just be. It's just going to be really exciting. And here we have, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, playing for Team Psystorm. It's RuFF, the Terran.
And spotting in the bottom right, it's going to be the purple Protoss player here from Rise Esports. It is Hjax.
Indeed, I'm excited. You can't quote me on this. I may have cast one or two of Hjax's games in the past. Maybe, I think he might have played in the team league that we did a while back, but don't quote me on that. I mean, it's hard to remember every single StarCraft 2 game you've cast, but either way, it's going to be really exciting to see what these guys are bringing out in the new patch. And Hjax, oh, look at this. Going for a gas steal right out the gate.
I like it. I like it a lot. It really makes it hard to get Cyclones out early if you can't get that second gas up. So I think he's probably just trying to shut that down. Maybe force RuFF towards more of a bio opening at the very least here. And then meanwhile, he's just working on his gate. We'll see if he goes for that one gate expand or not. That's been safe in StarCraft for a very long time. And yeah, he's sending that probe down. The expansion will come up here in just a couple of seconds. But in the meantime, we're just moving past all sorts of interesting features here on this map. The tile set is kind of nice. Kind of looks like bathroom tiling a little bit.
Yeah, and then it gives way to like this sort of like Mars-looking desert, just that red. But no, yeah, this was interesting. I mean, RuFF is kind of going to be forced to expand here, right? Just based off the fact that his gas was stolen. You can't go for a one base off one gas, really, as Terran. So he's just getting up his reactor and then his CC on the way.
Nicely done. Not that the probe really tried to stop that from happening, but did scout it happening, which is really what you want to see. And then the cybernetics core is about halfway done here, saturating that second gas as fast as you can. Here is Hjax, and knocking down the assimilator on the other side of the map is RuFF. He really wants that second gas up and running because he is throwing up a factory pretty early
was
here.
harassing that SCV, some more had to come down to shoo it away. But yeah, RuFF just getting up his barracks, now getting up his factories, so just going to have a lot of marine production early on with that reactor, and getting the marines out to kill that refinery or assimilator so he can get up that gas once again. But Hjax just opening up with a gas steal, that's something that's like got to be your preference. It basically just forces your opponent to react to that. And so I don't know if that was like a spur of the moment thing or if he does that in a lot of his games, but I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, me too. I really think, honestly, every Protoss should do it just to make the Terran feel uncomfortable, for being honest here. Armory hiding over in this area. It's kind of hard to hide from a Protoss player once they get observers out. But it's actually not a robotic facility opening here. It's a Twilight Council for Hjax. The bunker at the front should be able to shut down any kind of pressure that is not Blink Stalker, although Blink is a possibility. As that, there it is. Blink on the way. Twilight Council is done. Upgrade coming here, and Tank is working on a tech lab, which at this point could be either Tank or Cyclone, as the tech lab is required.
Drilling claws, I think. He's going to be going for a fast drilling claw drop. I think I've seen RuFF do this once or twice before, even before the patch. And so basically, yeah, he's just going to produce mines, get a starport, and go for a Widow Mine drop if I had to take a guess. Or just mass Widow Mines or something, because, I mean, Protoss, they need an observer, and look at this, Hjax, he's just going for Blink.
He's not going to have detection, LaughNgamez. He's in so much trouble.
You can't go for, like, gateway pressure. Before, when Widow Mines, if you were to attack with Blink Stalkers or go for a big Blink Stalker in the past, Widow Mines, they'd burrow, you'd have to out-blink them, and
you blink back in and kill them.
Exactly.
It'd be easy. Yeah, yep.
And now you need the observer once again, like you did in the past as a Protoss. But we're seeing that starport. We're seeing a tank on the way now, which is interesting. RuFF just playing it very safe here, but then also has one or two Widow Mines. And I have to imagine if you're getting drilling claws, you're gonna try and drop them, right?
Yeah, you'd think so. That starport is just about done, so I'd imagine you're correct about that one.
Oh man, it's just I love this build coming out of RuFF, but just the thing is, the Widow Mines burrow so fast, your opponent needs to react perfectly, just the speed in which drilling clawed Widow Mines burrow. There's just, you try and pull the probes like you would normally, but they're already dead. And so
yep, I mean, you can react to it as well as you can. It's just not going to go well for you. Third base here getting shut down by a Marine. Well, not shut down, just harassed a little bit. And then, yep, Marine's just checking to see those third base locations. Just wants to know exactly how far and how fast Hjax is expanding. What are we doing? There's that medevac for RuFF. Doesn't have anything in it yet. There we go. Loading up the Widow Mines. They do have the drilling claws. 4 of them on the way here. Hjax does have an observer in production, so he's going to be able to at least handle these once they've fired. But like you said, that burrow time is so fast. You're going to lose something regardless, it feels like.
I am loving this on the new patch, but Hjax, you really got to respect what he's doing. He's just playing that sort of defensive Blink Stalker gateway style, getting up charge, double forge. So this really gateway heavy style, it looks like he's opening up with it. I mean, it kind of is greedy just going for this, but we'll see. He's got the Blink Stalkers. Widow Mines are going to be coming on in here. First one's going to burrow at the third base, but the rest are looking to maybe boost on in here. Or is RuFF just going to wait? I mean, they can definitely get on in there quickly if he just boosts in. He's probably waiting for boost, and there he goes. He's going to boost right on in. Probes are being pulled, but the mines, they're going to burrow so quick on top of this. Another one's going to burrow, and oh no, the probes! RuFF targets, gets 12 probes.
Decent connection there. The medevac does end up going down. Is he recalling home the observer?
Yeah,
sure
he does have observers. He's got 3 of them out, actually.
Good
and so
play.
that's going to help clean that up. But, oh man,
yeah,
that is such a pain.
That third connection is really what did it there for RuFF. The first 2, okay, not bad. Soccer went down a couple probes. But that third one really took down the number that he was looking for there. Widowmine trying to burrow over behind this mineral line.
Ooh.
And is going to get another shot off. 4 more probes go down.
No, Hjax, I mean, he's just producing probes once again, but there's also one at his third base here. He's got his 1-1 on the way, and he's going to be facing what looks like mech coming out of RuFF. RuFF on 2 bases, making a lot of tanks, Hellions, Raven, and still with a good chunk of mines.
Yeah, he's definitely meching it here. RuFF is known for being a meching player. Widowmine fires again over at this third base, kills another probe. Really hasn't done much. 3 total kills on that guy. Nothing incredible, but still not bad either.
Okay, now we've got a Warp Prism moving out for Hjax. He can always warp in Zealots, as he did get out that very quick charge. He's got Charge and Blink, the main 2 utilities in his army. He's getting out an Immortal now, as I'm not sure what he's seen exactly of RuFF's army, but another Widowmine drop going to be moving on out. Hellion's looking for a run by as well.
And a Warp Prism sitting up by RuFF's main, thinking about moving in there for Hjax.
Okay, Hellions will get caught.
Nice blink. Beautiful blink there, blocking that off entirely.
Yeah, but then this Medivac's going to be looking to boost on in here. There is a pylon, which is a good move by Hjax. Going to be able to identify that this is coming on in. Does he have any units in the main base? He does not. So here comes the Medivac. It's going to be boosting right on in. Probes are going to have to scatter, but I mean, these mines, they burrow so quickly. They have a lot less time to run. One gets a massive connection there. 9 probes going down. And RuFF, he's still got a full Medivac right now. So Hjax has just been taking a massive beating here. Mines are going to go into the natural. They're going to burrow right now, and probes are not pulling. Is it quick enough? Another shot going off. 16 probes have died. Oh my god, this build from RuFF.
RuFF, he is killing it right now. He's killed 34 workers. That said, Hjax is only down by 3 in total. He's been replacing his probes exceptionally well. He's been continually making them. It kind of reminds me of when you try to harass a Zerg player. And sure, you might whack, 20 drones, but then more come in.
Here comes
That
in the
said,
Medivacs once again. I think that... there's one gonna burrow.
Ow, ow. 3 more probes go down. 1 stalker takes a hit, but that was not too bad.
That Medivac does get cleaned up. I mean, it is nice for Hjax. He's got 3 observers, or he actually must have lost an observer there. Maybe to the Mind Splash or something,
Maybe.
But having an observer at a base is so important versus this. RuFF still is on 2 bases. He's just powering up for what looks like it's going to be an absolute massive attack. And he's starting to move out Hellbats and Siege Tanks. I mean, while we don't see Terrans go for this composition too often, tanks are incredibly good versus Protoss. Hjax is moving out, which is very important to head this off. If he picks off the Raven, that would be nice, and he gets it. Heading off this army is very important for him right now.
There's a drop in the main as well. Hjax got that Warp Prism in there. The Zealots are going to town. There's also a DT in the mix.
Yeah, I didn't even see him get the Dark Shrines. But RuFF is only on 2 bases, and he just burned 2 scans locating his opponent's army. He lost the Raven, so he doesn't have that for detection. Hjax, it's possible he could clean this up with DTs. Probes have to abandon that third base for now. He's got a 4th, ironically, building behind this army.
It's completely hidden from RuFF at this point. The base goes down so fast to the Hellbat tank composition here. And Hjax has no interest in engaging here directly. He's just pushing out with his army. across the map.
looks like
Perhaps
he's
they're trying to set up a
counterattacking,
base race.
There isn't too much back at, well, there's a tank or two back at home for RuFF. The bunker will probably be broken here, so RuFF's natural, at least it's going to be in trouble. I would like to see Hjax morphing in some DTs and to just start running them at this army to throw in scans, because Terran only has so many scans right now. However, he's trying to get on in here. Most of his stalkers have died. RuFF's SCVs are blocking. And oh man, it looks like these zealots aren't getting too much done right now, and there's this massive army still, and a Raven has grouped up with it, so there's no more window for those DTs.
Nope. Army supply 86 to 52 in favor of RuFF right now. He has a couple of mortals and a handful of Zealot and Stalker here, but the composition is just not great against Hellbat tank right now.
Yeah, the tanks
Hellbats,
are siege,
especially if they have
up
flame
now, but oh, just the Zealots are melting here. The Immortal even getting disabled. A nice move there from RuFF, and it looks like he's going to be taking this first game after a bit of a wonky opening there.
Yeah, he's doubling up here. Just did so much damage economically there. The Stalkers do get the Raven.
Okay, now
With the
DTs can
scan.
be warped in. Oh, yeah, there already is a scan, so that DT has to hang back. Eventually you can run the Terran out of scans. So look at that, RuFF starting up a missile turret for good measure. Another scan going
another
down.
Scan. DTs are out. Missile turret might actually complete here with the SCV working on it. Robotic facility down. That's your good game, and RuFF takes game number 1. Looking good.
Yes, he does. Well done by RuFF there, taking that match.
Yeah, the early harass, just too much in general to overcome. And in the end, just too many tanks, too many Hellbats. You don't see this composition a lot versus Protoss. Maybe it's something that, RuFF is making happen. Perhaps other players can attempt it as well, but pretty good stuff for sure there. Didn't see any Cyclone play, but definitely saw the new Widowmine come into it with the drilling claws. A lot of Terrans are using that today in games that I've been watching as part of the new patch. And we'll just try to get into game number 2 here.
Yeah, the next map's going to be Blue Shift, which is Hjax's pick, so not one of the new maps, so a map that these players will both probably be very familiar with.
Yeah, I'm sure they've played hundreds and hundreds of games on this map each. Really no question about that one. Not, the tile set's okay. It's kind of a lighter, deserty thing. Not as this one probably ranks definitely lower than the previous one on Cairo.
We are getting everyone on into the lobby now, and then we'll get on into it. I mean, that was a bit of an odd opening at first. I mean, Hjax was not really ready for those quickly burrowed mines, maybe being a bit too greedy versus someone like RuFF. I mean, I liked the early gas steal. That was a very cute play.
Yeah, it was. I'd like to, again, I want to see it more often as we're trying to get RuFF in here.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, keep in mind, guys, that this is a 2-day event, so we'll be back tomorrow at the same time. We're doing the round of 8 today, so 4 best of 5s, and then 2 best of 5s and a best of 7 tomorrow. So a lot of good StarCraft 2 going on.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Thanks for joining us again today. What up, Elk's in chat? Welcome aboard, Elk. Happy to have you here. And yes, we should see somebody rush battle cruisers, and it would have to be RuFF in this particular matchup. So maybe we'll make it an incentive for him to get some battle cruisers out if he's up like 2-0 or something.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, if that game maybe went longer, maybe RuFF would have attacked into BCs, because, I mean, he did open up mech, which naturally leads into Sky Terran.
Yeah. That said, the whole fact that anti-armor missiles do 0 damage now, in addition to the armor and the stuff that it hits, is not that good. But it does do extra removal of shields, if I remember correctly.
They do.
As part of the new patch. So instead of just removing armor, they actually do damage specifically to Protoss and their shields.
Yeah, I guess that means before anti-armor missiles were pretty much useless versus Archons. But now they'll be useful versus Archons.
That's true. I like it.
Yeah, it's an interesting change. That's
I mean, I really think the anti-armor missile removing the 10 damage that it did was more of a thing. It was better against Zerg than it ever was against Protoss.
Yeah, and then they also cited TvT for their reasoning for that. But this guy spawning down in the bottom left-hand side of the map, representing Rise Esports. It is Hjax.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner is the blue Terran player from Psystorm Gaming, RuFF.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Blue Shift, a map everyone's a lot more familiar with. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this one works out. Hjax once again moving out with a very early probe. I mean, that early gas steal is a bit of investment, but Hjax seemed to have no real problem with economy that game, as he was playing very greedy. It was the damage that RuFF got done, which really did him in there. And so maybe we'll see him change things up. Maybe go for some of his own timings or wonky builds again. He may even go for another gas steal.
I mean, it might even be worth, honestly, for Hjax just putting up a cannon or two in his mineral lines. Maybe just for the detection, just for shutting down the Widow mines a little bit. I mean, you obviously can't kill them before they burrow and fire with the upgrade, but I just feel like it'd help a little bit of some extra DPS on those things when they're coming down.
Okay, this is interesting. RuFF's going for a extra barracks in his main base, so he is going double gas, double barracks, which is really interesting. I mean, what's he going to be doing with this?
I mean, it kind of feels like Marauder with a concussive shell.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be something bio-related.
Yep.
And something gas-heavy, most likely. Yeah, maybe like a super quick one-base stim or a Marauder concussive shell. You never know. I mean, this is opening up, I believe, to a quick stim build. The double racks, but oh, look at this. Hjax, a very nice scout with the probe, gets on in.
Yeah, fantastic scouting.
Yeah, RuFF has reliably skipped the Reapers in his game, or skipped the early Reaper in this game, but look at this, he's going for another reactor. Now, I know a very rough thing to do is to make a lot of Reapers, and he's starting up one, but are we going to see mass Reapers eBay?
Oh, please. I haven't seen Mass Reaper for a while.
I mean, he's getting the eBay, so RuFF may be planning on proxying a command. I mean, he does like this thing in which he flies a command center into the main base of the Protoss and tries to land it, which is just absolutely insane while using Reapers bouncing around the cliffs. But, I mean, he doesn't have an SCV out on the map, so what's the eBay for? Just +1 or something? Or anti-Oracle? He's starting +1, though.
He sure is.
Now, Hjax, I mean, he definitely knows something is up, but how's he going to prepare for it? He's getting up a shield battery in his main, which is very important. He's got a Stargate, so he can always start an Oracle. But, some Reapers moving across the map, and SCV here, and oh, the SCV is actually building a missile turret. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of like it. Kind of a place to pull back if an Oracle shows up and starts to wreck your Reapers.
Yeah, I
Bit
mean,
of a safe place. And if the Oracle's not paying attention, it just flies right over that thing and dies straight up.
Okay, I mean, both these guys play on NA ladder, so there's a fair chance that Hjax has faced something like this from RuFF before. I do like the pylon to block the Reapers jumping up in that location. Oracle flies right into the missile turret, but Adepts, I mean, they can defend the high ground, and they can always try shade after these Reapers, but for now playing it very safe. Hjax is only on the one gateway, just producing Adepts very constantly right now.
Man, that +1 attack coming in here too. And Adepts just hanging out. Seems to be what the response is going to be.
This is fully what we expected from NA. Okay, RuFF scans for high ground vision. Maybe thinking of diving on in there, but I personally don't know how many Reapers it takes to kill 4 Adepts. Oracle shoos those Reapers away.
I don't either. I mean, Reapers, I feel like they have a really hard time getting through those shields of the Adepts. Another missile turret trying to come up, getting shut down by the Oracle very nicely there, and the missile turret itself going to get killed by that pulsar beam.
That is very important to prevent the sort of slow push coming on in. As RuFF maybe just eyeing up this Nexus. Now, Adepts are coming on down, but those Reapers, they're dealing a lot of damage to those Adepts right now. 2 of them have already been picked up. I believe Reapers have a bonus versus light, which Adepts are. Oracle can keep these Reapers back for now, though, but Hjax, I mean, he's still just making a lot of Adepts. Another Oracle is incoming. It can activate its Pulsar Beam and shoo these away for now, but they do only have so much energy. Hjax, he's getting up a shield battery, which will definitely help him out, but how has he shut down all these Reapers?
I mean, the Adepts do have that bonus damage versus light. The Reapers are light. I just feel like in a straight-up engagement here, KD8 charges are your big threat, and there we go, diving right in now is RuFF. KD8 charges going down. He just outnumbers the Adepts by a huge
so
amount.
many Reapers. Just, I guess Adepts were not the choice to try and deal with Mass Reaper.
No, as it turns out. And
wow,
yep, here we go, just hopping right in the main base. Hjax is done. He's got a shield battery.
He's got another Oracle popping out, which is going to help shoo this away, warping in some more depths. But 17 probes have died already. RuFF's getting up a natural back at home and just making more and more Reapers. Hjax isn't going to have a single worker to his name, it looks like, at the end. GG, RuFF takes the quick 2-0 lead.
Fantastic display of weird stuff from RuFF. That's why we're here, man. We like that weird stuff, and he's making it happen. Is there a bracket for this on Liquipedia anywhere?
There should indeed be a bracket on it, all of our events, and it should actually be linked in the chat.
Okay.
Under that announcement, if you click just at the top of the chat, it'll be linked under the bracket. You can find all the upcoming matches and schedule there. All right, but yeah, once again, thanks everyone for tuning on into Afreeca World 26 Rise Esports Edition. Having a lot of their players coming on in, but there's a lot more than just this one best of 5, guys.
Yeah, we have a ton of players here. The list does include Puck. It includes Cuddlebear, McMonroe, Future, Caleb Arakas, QXC, Hjax, obviously, as we've seen in these games. So yeah, a lot of NA players here. A lot of them have big fan bases. Very excited to have everybody involved. And thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, we'll get everyone on into the lobby. I mean, that's the thing about RuFF. Like, he just plays such, like, odd styles that there's no perfect way to deal with it, so you really have to rely on what am I supposed to do versus Mass Reapers? That's not most pro gamers wouldn't really have an answer for that. And Hjax, I mean, Stalkers probably would have been better there. I mean, I know they deal less damage to the Adepts, but they have to the Reapers, but they have the range. So, I don't know, maybe just more shield batteries and more Stalkers or something. It's a tough call to make. What do you do versus Mass Reapers?
Cannons with shield battery, maybe. It's just the shield battery is not great for your probes because they die too fast for the shield battery to do much about it. But you have cannons taking shots from Reapers who are notoriously bad against buildings, then maybe that's enough of the shield battery healing up behind it just to try to keep you alive.
Yeah. I mean, like, you think, like, Oracles are a good way to shut that down. Maybe if he got, like, a Void Ray or something, just because it continuously zones out the Reapers, even though they deal a lot less damage. I don't know, because those Oracles, they did run out of energy.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Void Rays do take some time to kill stuff, obviously, but yeah, interesting thought process here. So try to get into our third game. Yeah, that game was not long enough to see Battlecruiser, unfortunately.
No, not unless Reapers can fly. Okay, but yeah, I mean, what's Hjax got to do this game? We're loading on into the next map, which is going to be Automaton. Which, I mean, no one really knows how the new maps are. Even pro gamers are still figuring it out. And that's why it's important to have these early cups and everything, to see exactly what everyone is doing. Rito, 21 in chat, says just storm them. I don't know if he had time for that.
Probably not. Look at this east-west spawn on this map, too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Here we are, spawning in the right-hand side of the map. It is Rise Hjax. Gonna have to bring it back.
And spawning on the left-ish down side of the map, it is the Blue Terran player from Storm Gaming. It is RuFF.
Okay. Now, I mean, RuFF, he's opened up sort of wonky, but this map, I mean, I have cast one game on this map. And when I did introduce the players, I was like, wait, how do I introduce them? They're not really in the top right. In the bottom left. But Hjax, once again, going for a very early probe. RuFF got a very quick second gas the other game, so it couldn't just be stolen. But here comes in that probe once again, Hjax. Scouting versus someone like RuFF is very important, but it's all about having the right reaction.
Correct. And even if you see what's going on... Oh, does get that steal. Oh, the SCV, I think, was trying to block that from happening, but couldn't quite get it done. Very annoying, but so far really hasn't stopped RuFF from winning the first 2 games, so I'm not sure how much he cares at this point. Charge lots, says Elk, maybe versus the Reaper.
It's just that was a rush. There's no doubt about it. So getting up to like tech like that to defend it, I think maybe just like mass stalkers and shield batteries or something like that.
Might do it. I don't know. I mean, you had time to get up a Stargate, so you had time to get up a Twilight Council and maybe get Charge in there too. And then just mass Zealot. But even then, the kiting is pretty good on Reapers in that situation. The Kitty 8 Charge good too.
Yeah,
I feel like Reapers are pretty good against melee attackers.
It's just, look at us theory crafting. You know this is an NA show match, or an NA tournament, guys. When we're theory crafting, what do you do versus mass Reapers?
Right.
Now, the winner of this does move on into the tournament, so it's important for Hjax that he does not drop any more maps, otherwise he is done for. But look at this, he's coming on in with his probe once again. He will see that RuFF is just expanding normally this game, going for sort of similar to game number 1, in which he went for that fast reactor, no Reaper, then just getting up the factory behind it after that gas steal. So very similar to game number 1.
Yep, nothing too crazy going on yet, but you know, the day is young. As it is a Twilight Council from Hjax back home, so he's probably gonna go for that Blink Stalker play. Seems pretty comfortable with it. It's not bad with it yet either.
I do like this, moving out with his Stalker, because he knows that his opponents did skip the Reaper. However, RuFF to counter this, getting up a bunker. I do like bunkers early on as a Terran. It just really prevents the Protoss from poking and snowballing versus you, but we'll see. Stalker won't get here in time for that bunker. Not quite quick enough to get there.
Nope, definitely not.
RuFF starting up a Widow Mine. We'll see if we see an armory or something again, but RuFF getting up a double gas behind this. You never know what he's going to go for.
Yeah, bunker at the front, going to shut that down quite nicely. And yeah, we're staring at his building so intently. We're like, what's it gonna be? RuFF. You're gonna show us a third strategy in your as many games? You're too kind.
Yeah, he's getting up a reactor on one factory. Okay, is it gonna be double Cyclone or something? Okay, there's one Cyclone, yeah, and maybe he's just gonna float this other factory over, or Cyclone Hellion or something? Because he freed up that tech lab, so that's gotta be for something. There he goes. Okay, it's gonna be early
going
Cyclones.
for the upgrade. Yeah, is it Maglev? Something like that. Mag Accelerator Field.
It is. And yeah, basically just means the Cyclones deal a lot more damage when they lock on. Basically, and I mean, double. Cyclones are pretty good. They, basically anything they lock onto dies. In fact, I'm pretty sure literally anything in this game that they lock onto dies.
But this doubles their output. It does a full 400 more damage on the lock-on, which means you have 2 Cyclones with this upgrade, and you can take down a command center with them.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I like it.
Now, the blink is on the way out for Hjax, and I mean, one of the things about the new Cyclone is they lock onto units, and then the units, they're too slow to chase after them. But the Blink Stalkers, they can possibly blink on top of these Cyclones, which is very, very important for Hjax in order to be able to shut this down. And so this is actually going to be a really important, really important like way to learn to see how this interacts. How exactly do the new Cyclones work out versus Blink Stalkers?
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Because, their basic damage does really well. Their lock-on ability going to be pretty good here too. And they are a little bit less tanky. They have fewer hit points than they did previously by about 40 or so, like a 180 to 120 type of a deal.
Yeah, so now the question is, like, a Blink Stalker blinking, it breaks the lock-on, does it?
Yes, I believe it does. I mean, especially if it gets out of the range.
Yeah, if it gets out of the range, but if it
doesn't.
blinks just inside the range, I'm not sure if it does break it or not. I'm not too sure, but anyway, observers are moving out for Hjax. That's one thing he did in his last game. He got a ton of observers, which is very important. And he's going to see these Cyclones now, and he's got 12 Stalkers out, which is a ton to shut this down. And here, look at that, he just blinks on top of the Cyclones. He's going to try and pick them off, loses actually a ton of Stalkers to that. Gets one Cyclone, did 4 Stalkers actually died. Just, I guess, not volleying them down. I mean, that was the Cyclone damage there. That was a ton of damage coming out of those.
That really was, but it looks like we are more easily to pump out Stalkers than we are to Cyclones right now. So just in a war of attrition, I think the Stalkers might be able to do a lot of work here.
Yeah.
He is getting charged for his Zealots. Charged pretty good against Cyclones because they're not that great. Cyclones against these lighter units.
Yeah, no, they aren't. And I mean, there can just be a lot of Zealots, so they sort of overwhelm these Cyclones. These Cyclones do need time to get their value. Hjax picking off that Widow Mine there. And then we'll see. He could always just blink inside the main base, or he can test the waters at the front. Got to be very careful, though, about what he does. I mean, he lost 4 Stalkers in that last engagement. But, yeah, I'm liking this position for Hjax now.
Yeah, pretty fantastic. Ooh, blinking right into the main. Gonna take down that tech lab. No clones for you out of these buildings. Hold on, you actually got to kill it.
Oh, Stalkers. Do they blink? They blink away, and they break that lock on. Very nicely done there.
And they got both those tech labs, too, which is just beautiful.
Fusion core on the way. Now, I'm not one to say battle cruisers because there's a Liberator on the way, but it's possible.
You're not going to get our viewers' hopes up, eh?
Or your hopes up, but...
or my hopes up. That's fair. I appreciate that.
I mean, since he did get a fusion core, we either should see a battle cruiser or advanced ballistics start. I mean, he's definitely got the money. He's got the money to start, like, 2 battle cruisers, but it is just Liberators, it seems, so far.
Yeah, I mean, if your opponent is going for this many Stalkers, you definitely do not want to be going for battle cruisers at this point. There's your Drilling Claws upgrade coming in. Okay. He's really trying to make good use of the new Widow Mine stuff. And Hjax has established his 3rd base quite nicely here. He's going for a robotics facility. New disruptor versus the Cyclones, I feel like could be pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because the Cyclones are always moving, but then the Disruptor's a lot easier to, or a lot better as far as targeting goes. Picks off that Drilling Claws upgrade, by the way. He's just going to pick off a Cyclone, but he does lose a fair few Stalkers there. And the Cyclones, they do stay locked on there as the Stalkers blink away, it looks like. But still, Hjax, I mean, he's on 3 bases. He's on a very healthy economy, whereas RuFF, his has been neglected a little bit. He's investing in a ton of tech while he's just on 2 bases. So eventually he's going to have to expand as his main base will start mining out. But he really is just going for a lot of 2-base tech right now.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. Really no indication. Well, there's your 3rd base. 3rd Command Center is starting there in the production tab, but it's definitely late. And he's just working on a ton of upgrades for all of his dudes here. So it's going to be a Liberator Cyclone play with SCVs in here to repair as well, and a bunch of Widow Mines in the mix. I think he's waiting for that Drilling Claws to finish.
Yeah, maybe he is just going to try and push, and I mean, if you are 2-basing, it usually means you want to get some damage done to your opponent. I see Elk in chat saying, what's the new Disruptors? Explain the changes. It's basically the old Disruptors, not the new Disruptors. But yeah, basically they just don't automatically explode on impact and have gone back to using a timer.
Yep. So the Nova comes out, it explodes after 2 seconds, wherever it is, whatever's happening, instead of the old way, or the new way, wherein the first enemy unit to hit the center of the Nova triggered the whole thing to explode.
The Zealot
that is not the case
attempted to be dropped on in, but looks like they'll be getting cleaned up. Wow, those Cyclones, they're pretty slow killing Zealots compared to something like how quickly they dispatch those Stalkers.
Yep,
But yeah,
bonus damage is a big
that
deal.
counterattack by Hjax did get shut down, but I mean, he is on 4 bases right now. He's got a very, very significant ground army right now, a ton of Immortals, Zealots. He does need to make sure that he'll have enough Stalkers to deal with RuFF's Liberator count, as RuFF, he is getting up a pretty high number there, but he's also securing his own 3rd base, so his economy not going to be too bad. But still, Hjax in a very good position economically. He just wants to know what his opponent's doing, throwing a pylon out on the map. But RuFF, he's coming on in, and he may just be able to snipe off this 4th base or shut it down. I mean, he's got advanced ballistics on these Liberators, +1 ship weapons, so they're definitely going to pack a punch. And with a ton of Widow Mines underneath him, it's going to be tough for the Protoss army to engage this.
I'm working on +2 as well here. Man, look at this. Look at this die. Ready? Yep, Nexus down extremely quickly. And the Liberator's setting up. Hjax doesn't even try to engage, really. He says, nope, that's too many Liberator
Oh, there's
circles.
a Disruptor, though.
And exploding after 2 seconds. No real difference there, obviously, but...
Yeah, RuFF kites back, and oh man, this is so many Liberators, though. He's just going for it. The Archons are pretty good at tanking versus Liberators. All the mines have been baited out, and the Stalkers are actually able to get behind these and fire on them. So RuFF's army is forced back, but there's actually no Observer here, and there is a ton of mines still hanging around. 14 probes died during this. That's manageable losses, though, if this gets cleaned up. But I am concerned about all these Widow mines. Are they just gonna, like, run into the natural or something? Okay, Disruptor's coming in. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Oh man, that Disruptor. Oh,
That's
7 Widow
Disruptor ball.
mines there.
Very sad.
That was
Very sad Widow mines.
That was a lot of Widow mines killed by that Disruptor. Good on Hjax, though, to realize exactly where those mines were and just kill them off with the Disruptors. Meanwhile, RuFF, as this has been going on, though, he's getting towards the 4th base. So he's not been skipping any beats back at home, playing with this interesting mech composition. But
Yeah,
Hjax,
so far so good.
He's moving out.
Zealots, Stalkers, Disruptors, Immortals, all very, very traditional Protoss compositional choices here. We're working on upgrades. Ship weapons level 2 finishing up right about now. Hjax decides it's time to push on in. He's going to go ahead and bring his largely gateway army with some Immortal and Disruptor support. And, going to try to drop it into that mineral line, taking some shots from the Planetary Fortress and deciding not to actually engage at all there. Yeah, man, the Nova's, getting right on top. Nicely done. What a target fire on those Widow mines.
Yeah, fantastically done. Even a DT killing off a missile turret. That's a pretty bold DT there, but Hjax, he's thinking he can push into RuFF right now. Liberator's very good at zoning this Protoss army back. But,
yeah, Dark Templar just hanging out, man. He took down the sensor tower. He's pleased with the work that was completed. And Hjax trying to get that 4th base up back home while keeping the pressure on. The DT is going to get cleared out thanks to detection with that scan. And Hjax is kind of pulling back. I'm not sure how interested he is in actually moving in here.
yeah, like RuFF, I mean, he stayed on 2 bases for a long time, but he has secured 4 for now. He killed Hjax 4th, and if we look at the worker count, RuFF's actually in a pretty good spot economically. So, I mean, while time wasn't really on his side before, it's looking pretty good for him now, as Hjax really wanted to test the water. Disruption Nova actually gets a pretty fantastic shot there. Another Disruption Nova going out. Hjax targeting that, just picking off those Cyclones left and right here. Now, Liberator's going to step on in to zone him out, but a few SCVs die there. Nice bit of damage done.
Yep, so far so good with the new Disruptor getting those shots off, getting into the middle of the line before exploding. Another DT starting to warp in now for Hjax, trying to get some pressure on Liberator. Setting up on the main base, going to get eventually killed by a Phoenix, but seriously, takes a while for that to happen.
This is a great series for showing the stuff in the new patch. Well, the old Disruptor being seen, all the Cyclones, all the Widow mines as well.
Yep, Liberators here setting up those zones, and so far Hjax has not been really all that interested in engaging into those into the Liberators, especially with the Widow mines and the Cyclones on the ground. It's just really dangerous for Stalkers to get in there anymore.
We're really seeing all the new things here. Tempest on the way. More Stargates going up, and I am a big fan of the new Tempest. They are so quick.
Yeah, better acceleration, better top speed. They are so much easier to handle than they used to be, in a smaller model size as well. I believe that was one of the changes.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit smaller. They're still pretty big, though.
Look at it go!
They're so speedy, and they are so mobile now. It's like, I think the new Tempest, it's going to be interesting to see how pros use them, and we're going to be seeing Hjax use them here. But for shutting down Liberators, they're still going to be pretty darn good, because without, I mean, Vikings will be able to kill them easier, but the Tempests are a lot more mobile to avoid that. And when it comes just to picking off just straight Liberators, I mean, faster Tempest when they're not really taking much damage. Why not, right? That's going to be pretty good for them. DT shutting down a 5th base as well, but RuFF's moving out once again.
What a stud that DT is. I just like this constant Dark Templar usage as little assassins.
Oh, it's fantastic, yeah. Now, oh, wow, look at this. Even more DTs. They're just going to get right on top of this army, working on some Cyclones, some mines. If RuFF scans, the mines are just possibly going to blow up his own army, but he doesn't actually have a scan right now. He's losing a ton of units to this.
Wow, DT is putting in work. If they get another couple of Cyclones, another group of Widow Mines trying to unburrow and get up, but they're too slow.
Those Novas just destroying all of Ruff's DTs.
Just disgusting. Beautiful, beautiful play here with those
Oh, and
Novas.
Ruff's Liberator's a bit of a misclick. They're actually a massive misclick as he's losing pretty much all of his Liberators go down to those Stalkers. He's getting a bit of a Hellion run by going on, but he needs to get a lot of damage because he just lost a ton of his army right now. He's doing a good job microing these Hellions, picking up a fair few probes.
Yeah, not too shabby there. And attacking in here is Hjax. Nova comes in, gets absolutely nothing. The Liberators, again, just forcing Hjax to stay outside of those circles as best they can. Dodging the Nova very nicely with the Cyclones, but taking down a Refinery. Any bit of damage you can find now is good. Boom, big time Nova hit.
Oh, another oh my god.
Nova hit. The Disruptor play is brilliant right now from Hjax.
Yeah, fantastically done. And I mean, there's nothing for RuFF to challenge these, but we're seeing 5 Thors on the way to deal with these Tempests. And I mean, Thors are going to be interesting versus the new Tempest. We're seeing absolutely like everything touched by the balance patch this game, by the way. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I appreciate them helping us out. Thanks, Hjax and RuFF, for thinking about us more than anything else in your game today.
Okay, Cyclone's going to get some lock-ons. I mean, they can definitely zone out an army over those Disruptors. Picking off a good number of them. How many Cyclones have died this game? Currently 20. 25 mines as well, so RuFF's taken a fair few losses this game, but I mean, he's on 4 bases. He's also got that 5th base, but that's just floating around, so not able to mine off that yet.
Man, and just so far, Hjax has been completely unwilling or unable to engage into those Liberator circles, and I can't blame him for it. Man, another great hit, though. These Cyclones are another couple going down here to the Stalker push that time around. Okay. It's 200 to 133 supply. Hjax is killing it.
Now here's a big old ton of Thors from RuFF, though, and I mean, the new Thors, I personally actually have not seen their new anti-air base, because they deal more damage with their single target shot, I believe, versus things like Tempest.
Yep, Tempest, Broodlord, Battlecruiser, Carrier, Mothership, that's generally what that is for.
Oh, a lot of Zealots hitting this Planetary. A bit ambitious for those Zealots to try and snipe a Planetary. It takes a lot to do that. SCV's giving it the good old hug. Liberator's getting set up on this army. Stalker's actually blink forward. That's pretty ambitious there for Hjax. Gonna have to retreat for now.
Yeah, and so far the circles have really kept the Protoss player out, but he's been able to take down bases of RuFF while getting extra bases of his own, expanding all over the map, working on +3 attack. The Tempest come in, get some shots off, force the Unsiege, picking off the Liberator, and then getting out before anybody can hit them.
How much damage does that Thor do? Oh my god, the Thors versus these Tempests, they're just getting obliterated right now. However, Stalkers and Zealots and Immortals just getting right on top of all these Thors. Now, the Liberators, they all got to get sieged up right now in order to deal with these. The Stalkers, there's not too many left. If they all go down, the Liberators can clean up these Immortals. So, what a crazy engagement there. That all happens so fast. However, Hjax, he's got more Stalkers and other Tempests, and these Immortals are going to be so key. They can just put out so much damage, but Liberators forcing them out.
Liberators. Yeah, man. Liberators saving that Planetary Fortress's existence right there. That absolutely would have gone down with the Immortals crushing it, especially with +2 attack, but I don't know, man. Hjax just has better economy. He's got more production available. His upgrades are looking really, really good. RuFF sitting on 3 bases, starting to get mined out here, and he just can't seem to expand beyond with what he has.
Yeah, Hjax shutting down that 5th base is very important for him. RuFF's trying to start up another CC, but he is really starting to desperately mine out. Hjax, I mean, his probe count's not that high, but he's got the bases to mine off as well.
Yep, it's going to help him.
Oracle getting chased down. Oracle's a very important tool when utilizing Tempest, but it does get picked off, so a nice find there for RuFF. Hjax, meanwhile, he's just been so active out on the map, and he's got a ton of Stalkers right now.
And they all have that +3 attack, which makes them very, very good against these Liberators, against these Thors. And there's just Hellions on the ground now. We've kind of given up on the Cyclone a little bit. It looks like maybe we have, if we're RuFF.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive. And I guess RuFF maybe starting to be a little bit gas-starved here. As his main base is mined out on gas, his natural's mined out on gas, so only a 2-base economy income from gas, whereas Mules can supplement the minerals. He does lose a command center, though. Thors, I mean, they can try and force back these Tempests, but Novas, I mean, they deal a fair bit of damage. Those Thors can tank a few of them, but not too many there.
No.
Man, just definitely the damage the Thors do, though. Like, they got 2 shots off on that Tempest, and it's almost dead. I'm loving this. I'm loving to see how much damage the Thors do versus the Tempest. Like, how much damage does a +3 Thor do to a Tempest? Like, they definitely would two-shot it, I think, right?
You think so? 2 shots?
Yeah, because...
I mean, yeah, they did. They lowered.
Okay, the Punisher cannons. 60 versus massive. Okay. Alright, so maybe not two-shotting, but they deal a lot of damage there.
They do.
The command center
rough.
are rough. He did not repair that. That's a bit unfortunate for him.
It is. He has another command center he can land over there, but he really wanted to use that new CC on a new base.
He did, yeah. Not just to be a replacement. Man, these Thors, like, I mean, it looked like they were doing tons of damage. Maybe it was 2 shots that were going off, but still 60 damage versus the new Tempest when it's so low, when it's got such little HP compared to what it used to.
Yep.
And that's crazy.
Poking back in again here is Hjax. Going to take down a few of these missile turrets. Get that group of... Oh! SCDs mining those gold minerals. That's an interesting setup there. But once again, the circles show up, and once again, Hjax retreats. He just has no intent at all of going in there. Blinking back in a little bit, losing a stalker in the process.
And I mean, yeah, Hjax, he's just content. He knows that RuFF isn't really mining around the map, as he's just taking so many of his own bases. He's just got the much superior economy. RuFF, he's got a pretty decent army, but unless he takes a miracle engagement, it's going to be pretty, dare I say, rough for him.
Yes, you dare. You dare say.
I mean, it's sort of cute that RuFF's mining these minerals, these gold ones. So that's going to help his mineral income a little bit, but you still got to eventually get a new base.
Yep, and those minerals are very open and exposed to attacks coming from the other side here. He's not really protecting it, but Hjax doesn't seem to be intent in dealing with it here. Maybe just going...
When did all these Hellions get made? RuFF's on 41 Hellions. Jesus.
What? How? I guess maybe it's minerals, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was short on the gas, but this is so many Hellions. I did not see how many there were. Oh, anti-armor. Is RuFF just going to anti-armor missile and go for it? Okay, he knows Novas are coming out, but he's just got to go for it, right? Like, time isn't on his side here, so he's taking the engagement. Hellions are taking a lot of damage. They're trying their best, but they're just melting Vikings working away on the Tempest. But the ground army isn't looking too hot for RuFF. A lot of Archons have popped right now, but all the Disruptors still stand. I mean, RuFF dove in there with 40 Hellions. Oh my god.
Wow. Yeah, and at this point, it's 180 to 107 supply. It's just not going to happen here for RuFF. Blinking forward, Immortals crushing everything on the ground. The Planetary Fortress cannot stand against the combined might of this Protoss force. And RuFF has really got to start tapping out here. It's not looking good. There's the GG. And Hjax takes it. He avoids the sweep and will be down 2-1 going into the next game.
Yeah, he stays alive for sure. That's really awesome to see that later game. That was a 24-minute game, guys.
Yeah,
I love me some late game TvP when it's like that.
Me too. It looks like Redo is rooting for Hjax, so he'll be pretty pleased with that result.
Port Alexander is going to be the new map.
All right. Sounds like an interesting name.
We will get everyone into the lobby here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks to everyone for tuning on in. This is Afreeca World Rise Edition. Really awesome that we were able to team up and do an event like this. Of course, you can find pretty much all of us on Twitter. Falcon Paladin and I both have Twitter. And then, of course, Rise Esports, who's partnered up with us on this event. Their Twitter is up there, too. Tweets out a lot about their players.
Yeah, pretty fantastic support here overall here. And again, yes, the bracket is available. The bracket is in the little kind of chat intro in the top there where it shows our YouTube channels and Twitter. Below there's a bracket on Liquipedia. Just search Afreeca World 26 on Liquipedia and you should be able to find it, no problem.
Okay, we're gonna get everyone on into the lobby. Port Alexander. I've played once or twice on this map. so far.
I haven't yet.
But no strong thoughts or anything like that. I know one of the newer maps. It's the one with the big air blocker. I'm not 100% sure on its name. I expanded to the wrong natural on it. I was playing a ladder game, and I was like, it was some late night ladder. I was like, okay, I'll play 1 or 2 games, and laddering when you're tired. It's like I took the wrong expansion in a PvP.
Yeah, it's not going to go well for you in those situations. Not at all.
Okay, but that said, looks like we have everyone on into the lobby. We'll make sure the players are ready, then we'll get on into it. This series is really starting to heat up.
Mm-hmm. That was a fantastic game. Just good use of liberators, disruptor shots, anti-armor missile coming in there as well, doing that 0 damage, but damage to shields. Or reducing shields in addition to regular armor these days.
Yeah, like, we saw pretty much everything in TvP that was changed. Didn't we? Like, what else was changed that we did not see that game?
Zerg stuff. They combined the upgrades for building armor and
Oh yeah, and
something else.
Neo Steel Frame.
Neo Steel Frame.
Which
They're
gives
both
you,
the same
more
upgrade
room.
now.
I've
Right.
actually got something to say about that in a second here, but spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, it is Psystorm's RuFF. He's got the 2-1 lead.
And spawning in the bottom right, it is Rise Esports Hjax.
Okay.
Protoss.
So about
Player.
the building armor thing.
Okay.
I was watching a bit of Home Story Cup today, Tasia versus Cyril, as that was going on. And Tasia, he got building armor, and then as a result, his command centers, they fit 10 SCVs because that's what Neo Steel Frame does. So when his command center was under attack, it hadn't transformed or anything. He just loaded up 10 SCVs into it to keep them safe, and then flew away.
That's amazing. Good. I like to see that. Good job, Tasia, using the new stuff. What a boss.
RuFF with an eBay block to start things off. I was wondering what that cheeky SCV was doing moving out. Normal Terrans would have proxied to barracks. RuFF going for the eBay block. He says, you take my gas, I'll prevent you from taking your natural.
Have fun with that. Actually, might get the probe to stop it from
There you
happening.
go.
And he does.
Just leaves it so he can always cancel that engineering bay, forcing out his zealot. If RuFF comes, RuFF steal the gas, do it. Okay. Hjax not going to let that happen.
That would be funny, though. Quick zealot on the way. What is he worried about where he needs a zealot this early?
Gotta
Maybe to
clean
shut
up
down
the
the
engineering
eBay.
bay, I guess.
Fair enough.
What is RuFF doing? Okay, I guess to deny gas mining with that supply depot?
Sure. Zealot says priority 1, eBay, second priority.
Random
This
supply
guy.
depot in my base. Okay, but
Right.
meanwhile back at RuFF's side of the map, he's going for 1 base stim, it looks like. This game is bananas already, man.
I like it. I'm liking it quite a bit. This reminds me of the map in the campaign where you have to gather minerals for Mirahan.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
There's just mineral patches everywhere, embraces you can take and stuff, and there's like crates you can
all the
pick up.
cargo and everything.
Yeah. I bet that's what this map is patterned after.
RuFF's Marine working away on that geyser. Now Hjax, he's got a probe down the ramp, so he's seen RuFF hasn't expanded. And he's also seen that stim, or some upgrade at that tech lab, is on the way. So he's got to be wary of that.
Yeah, and a Marine here. Haven't seen a lot of Marines constructed by RuFF so far in the game. It's done a lot of mech-style stuff. I don't think any Marauders at all.
No, this
Marines-
game, though, he's committing to bio already. I mean, very, very fast stim pack.
Yeah, definitely. Working on those Marines. Additional barracks here, too. Getting an expansion up. Robotics facility, the answer here from Hjax. Back home. Again, Disruptor's pretty darn good against these bio balls.
Yeah, now RuFF getting up his CCs, getting up to 2 barracks, so he's going to have a lot of early bio, and I mean, there's nothing better than having early stim as a Terran. It's just such a powerful tool for the bio. Just it basically makes bio. And
Correct.
so RuFF going to have that very early on. He's got to rebuild an engineering bay, as of course that one at the natural was never intended to be finished, so getting that possibly for +1, possibly for a turret to be safe. We'll see. But
That would be funny though if Terran set that up there and started upgrading with it inside of the Protoss base.
It would be.
Anyway. Yep.
Okay, but yeah, RuFF really just 2-basing at bio. This sort of looks like a 2-1-1, but it's definitely not a 2-1-1. It started off a little bit different, but I mean, still a lot of early stimmed Marines. You can't go wrong. Now, RuFF's moving across the map with 5 Marines. Now, there's 2 Stalkers and an Adept and going to be some shield batteries, so I question what these Marines are going to be able to get done. So they may just have to run on home, and they will.
Yeah, that's a pretty good setup there from Hjax. The Marines want nothing to do with that, especially with the shield battery helping on that defensive position here for the Protoss player.
Yeah, I like that from RuFF that he was testing the waters. But those 4 Marines gotta go on home. There used to be 5. They're very sad on their way home. They lost a comrade, but RuFF now getting up his command center. And he's gonna have Medivac soon, and that's gonna give him a lot of mobility with bio.
Yeah, that's what the stim's all about, is mobility and increased damage dealing. Just speed is everything in a game like an RTS game like StarCraft. And there we go, Colossus being chrono boost out here.
If you see your opponents going for a lot of early stimmed Marines, a Colossus definitely a way to deal with that. They just shred through those light Marines.
Yeah, man, you definitely don't want to try to come in there with your Marines against these Colossus.
Yeah, they will have +1, but I mean, I feel as if Hjax is really doing the smart thing. This Colossus is so good versus bio, as long as he keeps it, say, in range of the shield batteries. RuFF, it's not like he's going to be able to dive on top of that. He's going for a drop, which you really got to respect, but Hjax, I mean, he's getting pylons, he's got his Colossus in his main base, and he's only on 2 bases, so it's a lot easier to defend 2 bases rather than 3 as a Protoss player.
But then your income, what about your income? Stimming right on in here. There are shield batteries, but there's nothing to battery there. Nothing to defend. Colossus is out. He's very angry. He doesn't have extended thermal lance yet.
Yeah, he's got short little arms for now, but eventually he'll have that upgrade. RuFF. Oh man, this is what I was talking about. Trying to stim on top of that Colossus is pretty bold, but loses a lot of Marines there. That Colossus killed 6 Marines. And Colossus, in the new patch, they do have turret tracking.
Yeah, which means they can
a lot better at kiting.
Yeah, they can fire while moving. They can fire at stuff behind them while they're walking forward. So cool. I hope we get to see some of that.
Yeah, it really helps them with their kiting, which, I mean, I saw some people being like, oh, this is such a small change to Colossus. It's actually a big change. It really increases their DPS while kiting. And so it's actually going to greatly improve the unit here. So liking to see that out of Hjax, but then also mixing in one of the new disruptors. Just very awesome to see that. I mean, if your opponent, say they get a bunch of Vikings, you still got the disruptors as the AoE. Now, RuFF looking for a bit of a drop here, but Hjax definitely on guard. Stalkers in position, still defending his 2 main bases. He's got the 3rd base on the way, but no probes there he needs to defend just yet.
Yeah, here comes a drop, but there are Blink Stalkers ready for that. Yeah, just get out. Just get out of there, drop. Actually, hold on.
They do not.
Yeah, they don't have Blink.
No.
Regular Stalkers.
He went right into that fast robo, but I mean, he's getting up a Twilight now, so I imagine we'll be seeing Blink start pretty soon. And I mean, still, 5 Stalkers, 5 or 6 Stalkers. You can't really boost on into that with 1 Medivac full of Marines.
Yeah, even without Blink, definitely not.
Yeah, and now we gotta think, what's RuFF gonna do this game? He's still on 2 bases. He's making a lot of Marauders, which is gonna help him out. But oh man, this Observer for Hjax just been hanging out.
Yep, hiding on top of this crate. No one can see.
Yeah, like it's almost touching the crate there.
It's a good hiding place. I like it.
Yeah, those crates are actually a really cool like aesthetic on the map, though. I like it.
Me too. All right, so just this Colossus thing is happening. Do you hallucinate a Phoenix there?
He did. He's looking to scout out with that sentry, and he may actually run right into this army. A fantastic find, actually.
Yeah, he sees where it is positionally, what its composition is as well. It's looking really bad for Hjax, though. That is a very scary Terran army based on what you're dealing with right now.
Yeah, it is. He's got the disruptor though,
Marauders.
so I mean, this entire game can really hinge on how that disruptor hits. A second disruptor is going to help out a lot. Now, you got to target that disruptor more now, as opposed to what you used to do, because the Terran actually has the option to split. Decent split there from RuFF. Now the Vikings working away in the Colossus. RuFF tries to kite back, but oh man, those disruptors getting some fantastic hits off. The Colossus are gonna fall. The Marauders putting out a lot of damage, but the Vikings, they need to land and get on in this fight, and they will. It's looking pretty close. That last Colossus does get picked off. And oh
Colossus
man,
got some decent swipes there, and the Vikings aren't very good against either the Stalkers or the Immortals standing and trying to fight regardless, though, and RuFF is forced to flee.
he is, yeah. And what's he gonna do from this point? I mean, he cleared pretty much both armies. But Hjax, he's still producing more and more disruptors. He's on actually a double Robo, so he can remax on those Robo units very quickly. He's planning for counter drops as well. Meanwhile, RuFF, I mean, RuFF has just been on 4 racks? Yeah, RuFF's on 4 barracks. I was like, okay, there's 4, there should be a 5th, but no, RuFF's on 4 barracks, but now he's sort of throwing up a 3rd base, but that's a little bit late, as he was really planning on that attack working.
Yeah, he really put all his eggs in those basket, I think, and it might allow Hjax to come back into this game. Well, not come back into it. He's on 3 bases. He's looking great. Also, like the shield batteries in this position.
Yeah.
He really knows this is something that can get dropped, and he's preparing adequately for it. And the medevacs are sneaking around that bottom side. We can barely see those on the mini-map, but just entirely bypassing the shield batteries.
Though. He says, nope.
Yeah.
Not going to throw these units away today. Although he's trying to like pull a fast one on his opponent. But Hjax, his positioning with his observers has been great. He knew this drop was incoming from the get-go. Snipes off that medivac right away.
Oh, the second one goes down.
Those +1 blink stalkers just getting the work done. Nice trade there. And suddenly Hjax, he's getting into a 4th base. This is a guy who likes to expand, that's for sure.
Yep, which it pays off, man. In the long run, that's what you want to see, is those expansions. Expand and attack is what Day9 always used to say. Ooh, Fusion Core for RuFF. Come on, man. Battlecruiser us. Help us out.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
You
I
can
think
dream.
you're right.
Not the game he's making bio anyway, but he is getting into those Liberators. Liberators definitely the counter to Disruptors as they zone them out.
Yep, very nicely.
Also getting into his 2-2, so he's actually going to have an upgrade advantage, but then again, Disruptors do not really care about upgrades.
No, I don't think there's any upgrade, well, on either side of the map, really.
Yeah, well, it's magic damage, isn't it? So.
Yes, but I'm saying I don't know that there's any upgrade you can get as bio that allows you to survive a shot from a disruptor.
No, yeah. RuFF, I mean, he's just getting hit hard by these disruptors, though he doesn't have any Liberators out just yet. If he picks off the disruptors, ooh, that was a good pick off there. He's killed off a few, but losing a fair bit of bio there. He's got up his 3rd base, but RuFF's now definitely down in supply. He's going to have 2-2 on the way. He's setting up a lot of Liberators. Hjax blinks into them. He'll lose a few Stalkers as a result. RuFF trying to split versus those Disruptors, but Hjax always getting something.
Yep, some value there. And if he can take down this 3rd base of RuFF, it really put him in a fantastic position. His army supply is higher, his overall supply is higher here. It's actually more than double for army supply. This 3rd base is toast. I don't think even repairs are going to save this thing. An Immortal crushing away at it, Disruptor's not bothering to hit. Hjax is going to force the game 5 here, dude.
Yeah, he is. It's looking pretty dire for RuFF right now. Liberators are moving across the map, but, I mean, those Liberators would have to kill all the probes, and then RuFF would still have to hang on. So this situation's looking pretty tough for him.
Yep, pretty bad place to be here for your Terran player. Took down the bunker quite easily. Liberators are setting up. What? Are they already dead?
Cleaned up. Yeah,
just about dead.
Cannons and Stalkers shutting them down. RuFF stuck on 2 bases. I imagine we'll be seeing him tap out pretty soon. I mean, he's loading up into his medivacs for sort of a Hail Mary drop. I mean, RuFF's a scrappy guy. He'll try, but now these Stalkers are like, oh, hey, there's no army. I'll just kill your command center.
Oh boy, RuFF needs to do everything with his drop.
Yeah, this drop, look at that, those Stalkers coming on home.
It's problematic. It is problematic for our friend RuFF here. Let's see what he does with it.
trying to get... Oh, man. Oh, dear. There we go. That's going to be GG.
Yeah, blinking right on top of it. Just medevacs remaining. They're running for their little medevac lives.
Hjax ties it up after being down 0-2. Very awesome showing from him. Watching that makes me think, are we going to see more Blink Disruptor? There's a certain guy in this tournament who is really known for that style who's going to be playing later today in a PvT as well.
Blink Disruptor, man. Really, really good. Also kind of interesting in PvP for that style, too. I used to call it Disruptor Tennis when it was very, very popular. Just those Novas going back and forth between each of the Blink Stalker armies and trying to get hits. But yeah, very, very viable to this point. I love the aggression of Hjax, the aggression combined with the expanding, combining with defending the drops. Just looking really, really good for our pink Protoss player so far today. Can't believe he's forced to game 5.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be looking like lights out for him, but no, he's fought his way back, which is always awesome to see.
Beautiful, beautiful play from our guy. All right. Let's get on in here to our next game. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us here over on Afreeca. Ritu wants to know why RuFF keeps 2-basing. I don't know. Feels like he has some pretty good builds in the 2-base, is my guess.
Because he's RuFF, and that's what he does.
Yeah. Kind of his play.
That's what he's practiced, but... I mean, him playing Bio, that was an odd game, for sure. Just opening up with the eBay block, then the gas steal, then the attempted supply depot block in the early stim, which Hjax just really reacted perfectly to. It's like, oh, early Marines would stim, I know, Colossus. And yeah, definitely the right call there, instead of trying to take, say, a 3rd base or something in which he would have been vulnerable, but nope. Just stays on 2 bases. Just the right amount of time.
Indeed, as we roll into Parasite here, which a lot of players have this map vetoed, from what I've seen in my experience. Yeah. I think it's really mostly about the big wide open 3rd base for both Protoss and Terran. They don't like that setup.
Not versus Zerg anyway, neither of them like it, but spawning down in the bottom right-hand side of the map. Playing for Team Psystorm, it's RuFF.
And spawning on the top left, it's a pink Protoss player from Rise Esports. It's Hjax.
Yeah, so, I mean, awesome to see these two players having a close series. Now, Hjax once again moving out with that early probe. You cannot trust RuFF is his motto of this series, it seems. And rightfully so, because RuFF has brought out some cheesy stuff, but the last 2 games have not gone very well for him, so the question is, like, what's he going to bring out this time?
I don't know. I wish I could guess. I wish I could tell you. But RuFF, he just has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. It looks like, especially with the new patch, he's had enough experience on it anyway to have some good ideas of what he wants to try. And I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see more Liberators. Those have been really good for him in holding off the Protoss advance and setting up harassment and whatnot. But he's got his double gas up already, so the probe can't come in and steal this thing. It's a big rush distance, as it turns out.
Yes, probe getting a shoot away there.
Yep, SCV using his little drill to say, get out of my neighborhood.
Okay, meanwhile, RuFF has another SCV out on the map. He's looking a bit suspicious, and there we go, a factory. Okay.
This could be a proxy cyclone push here. If the scout doesn't see this, Hjax could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I personally have not seen a proxy cyclone rush with the new cyclones. I mean, before the change, it was all the rage, but I mean, the actual interaction with the cyclone, fighting off or trying to get that lock on the early game Protoss units, it's gonna be great to see. But oh, actually, wait, what? Second factory coming out of RuFF.
Dang. So it's going to be a lot of Cyclone is the general concept here. Robotics facility here, Immortal pretty good if there's something to buffer for them in this upcoming battle.
Yeah, definitely. No Hjax. I mean, he's scouted out. He's not exactly sure what's going on. I mean, he checked. He saw no factory back at home. And okay, the barracks is floating over for RuFF, so he's going to use this for high ground vision versus his opponent with the Cyclones. It's got a long way to fly, but by the time RuFF builds up enough Cyclones, he may be there.
I like it. I like what we're seeing here.
Okay, so double factory, proxy cyclone, mag field accelerator, rush. I'm not sure what to make of this. A shield battery is going to go up, which will help the unit stay alive, but like, can a cyclone damage through a shield battery? I mean, with mag field accelerator, I imagine so. I'm excited to see how this works out. It's like, okay, is this a build I should be doing on ladder or not? Is what we're going to find out. Probe does identify this for Hjax, which is very important. Now he knows what's on the way, and he's getting out a warp prism, which is going to help tremendously. Being able to micro that. Now the two cyclones are out, though. They're going to try and get a lock on here. Mag field accelerator not just done yet.
And there we go. There's the lock on. Going to try to shut down that shield battery just as it comes in, but does get chased away by the Stalker, and the Immortal is alive, but it's not doing very well. Magfield Accelerator just now finishing, and now here we go.
There it goes.
Bam.
Yeah, wow. Okay, now another Cyclone popping on out. Gets a lock onto the Immortal. Good pickup, though, by Hjax. He's just got to juggle these units. Cyclone getting a lock off once again. That Immortal going to have to be picked up. Question is he going to be able to keep doing this as the Cyclone count ramps up? And oh my gosh, RuFF is following this up with double tank.
Interesting. I like it. He's going to try to shut down Hjax and contain him exceptionally well.
Meanwhile, he's throwing up a barracks and a command center on his side of the map. So this is such a wonky opening. The tank actually, I mean, basically what the tanks do is they prevent the Immortal from dancing around the Cyclones, but all but one of the Cyclones have fallen right now.
That said, the tank's coming up. One Cyclone remaining. Has got repair available. Tank fire. Oh, was that a dodge? Nice.
I don't know. The Immortal's probably going to unload on top of these tanks here. The Warp Prism's been locked on, but Immortal's always good versus tanks. However, the Warp Prism actually gets picked off, and suddenly, Hjax, what does he have here? He's got another Immortal popping on down, but the Cyclone, ooh, it does get picked off, which is absolutely huge. SCV is going to repair that barracks, but it looks like Hjax has held this rush.
Last second reinforcements making it work there for Hjax.
Another two Cyclones though, and this Immortal's out on the map. RuFF, oh, not quite microing though. He scans, so he'll probably get the Stalker, but the Immortal gonna be able to win that fight. Now we're seeing 3 more Stalkers warped in for Hjax. He's just gonna have this big count of bio unit Cyclone locked onto the Immortal, but Stalker's gonna send it packing.
Boy, I wish he still had. Bet he wishes he still had that other shield battery there. Barracks trying to scout, trying to find high ground to hide on, but that doesn't count.
They do not fit. They're a little bit too big. And Torito21, to answer your question, RuFF says, hey, why you gotta ask me why I keep 2-basing? I'm just gonna 1-base now. Now RuFF's got another tank and another Cyclone building because this is really is a good chunk of his production out on the map right now. He's gonna get out another Cyclone.
I don't know if he can save this, is the problem. He's going to go ahead and try to take down one of the Immortals, one of the Stalkers, staying out of the range.
Oh, man, that
lifting and breaking that lock-on is so good out of Hjax.
Okay, Cyclone's going to try and find an Immortal, and they do. That barrier activates, though, making it take a lot longer to be eaten through. 2 of the Stalkers go down, however, the Immortal survives. And Hjax, he may just be looking to counterattack right now.
Seems extremely possible. He is in a good position to do it. Anyway, but RuFF's going for another push towards the front of Hjax. In the meantime, both players pushing at the same time.
Locks onto those Stalkers. Oh, one of the Cyclones is injured. Does get picked off right away. SCV's got to repair these other ones. So probes are going to start getting attacked here by these Cyclones.
And the attack of Hjax doing good damage in there in RuFF's main base as well, though.
Oh, yeah.
SCV is forced to get pulled. The Warp Prism micro to keep these guys alive against these SCV. Fantastic. Hjax, man, you boss. Look at what he's doing.
Yeah, RuFF can afford to lose a few SCVs, as the worker count's not too far away, as he's killed off a few of his opponents. However, Hjax's army back on his side of the map is just so terrifying, the size of it.
Yeah, it's not looking good. If you happen to be
Oh, the micro from Hjax. That Immortal's so low on health, but fantastically done so far. And now he can just warp in more units if he chooses, warping in a ton of Stalkers. And what does RuFF have? The answer really is nothing. SC or Marines pop out trying to pick off the Prism, but there's just not enough of them. Hjax seems to have successfully snowballed this, shutting down RuFF's proxy.
Oh, that Immortal is gonna die. I can't believe it's still
It's
alive.
not GG.
Immortal.
Hjax takes it 3-2. Very well played.
Down 2-0 in the series, comes back, wins 3 games in a row to win it and move on to the next round.